If you want to be wealthy and happy, don't focus on wealth or happiness. I know that sounds like a riddle, or perhaps the beginning of a bad joke, but it's the single most important truth I've ever learned. We spend decades chasing these two things as if they were separate destinations on a map. We believe that if we could just pile up enough money, happiness will eventually show up, like a reluctant guest at a party. Or we convince ourselves that money is the root of all evil, so we should focus only on inner peace and let financial success go hang itself. Both approaches are not only wrong, they are traps. And I want to walk you through a different way today. Think about the way most of us are taught to pursue wealth. From the time we are children, we hear the same script. Study hard, get good grades, find a stable job, work your way up the ladder, save aggressively, invest cautiously, and one day after 40 years of labor, you will have a comfortable retirement. That's the promise. But look around you. Look at the people who followed that script perfectly. Are they wealthy in any meaningful sense? Yes, some have a positive bank balance, but many are exhausted, resentful, and trapped in golden handcuffs. They have a mortgage, 2 cars, a vacation timeshare, and a deep, quiet dread that grows every Sunday evening. They have traded their time, their energy, their health, and often their relationships for a number on a screen. And that number is never enough. Because the moment they reach one financial goal, the goalposts move. A bigger house, a better car, private school, luxury vacations. Wealth, as the world defines it, is a treadmill that only goes faster the harder you run. Now look at the other side, the happiness first philosophy. We are told to ignore money, follow our passion, live in the moment, and be grateful for what we have. This sounds noble, and in many ways it is. Gratitude is essential, and presence is a superpower. But here's the dirty secret that the feel-good memes don't tell you. Chronic financial insecurity destroys happiness. It is extremely difficult to meditate your way out of not being able to pay for a root canal. It is nearly impossible to be fully present with your children when you are terrified of an eviction notice. Poverty or even chronic financial stress is not a spiritual teacher. It is a slow poison. It narrows your field of vision until all you can see is survival. You cannot be generous, creative, or fully alive when your lizard brain is screaming about bills. So the idea that we should simply renounce wealth and focus only on happiness is a luxury belief, usually held by people who have never truly gone without. So what is the answer? The answer is that wealth and happiness are not two different things. They are two sides of the same coin, but it is not the coin you think. The real currency of a well-lived life is not dollars or dopamine, it is authentic self-expression. It is the experience of showing up in the world as who you truly are and doing what you genuinely love. Let me say that again. The only sustainable path to both wealth and happiness is to build your life around authentic self-expression. Now you might be thinking that sounds like a nice bumper sticker, but it is vague and impractical. Let me make it concrete. Authentic self-expression means you stop trying to be someone you are not. Most of our suffering comes from this mismatch. We take jobs that impress our parents, but bore us to tears. We buy things to signal status we do not actually care about. We compare ourselves to influencers and neighbors and coworkers and chase goals that were never ours to begin with. This is exhausting and is also a terrible business strategy because when you are pretending to be someone else, you are competing in a crowded market of other pretenders. You are average by definition. But when you express your authentic self, your unique combination of talents, quirks, passions, and perspectives, you become rare. And rarity is the foundation of real wealth. The most successful people I know, and I do not mean just financially successful, I mean the ones who are also genuinely happy, share one thing in common. They have figured out a way to get paid for being themselves. The programmer who codes because she loves the puzzle of solving problems, not because she wants a promotion. The plumber who takes genuine pride in fixing a leak and leaving a customer's home better than he found it. The teacher who lights up when a student has an aha moment. The entrepreneur who builds a business around the product they themselves wanted to exist. These people are not grinding for retirement. They are not waiting for Friday. They are not fantasizing about quitting. They are engaged, present, and often making more money than their miserable pretending counterparts. Why? Because they are willing to show up fully to take risks that align with their values, and to persist through difficulty because the work itself is its own reward. That persistence over years compounds into expertise, and expertise in a world that desperately needs real solutions commands high prices. But here is the paradox. You cannot pursue wealth directly if you want happiness, and you cannot pursue happiness directly if you want wealth. The only thing you can pursue directly is self-expression. The wealth and happiness come as byproducts, as side effects of a life lived in alignment. Think of it like this. If you chase money, you will sacrifice your health, your relationships, your integrity, and your peace. You might get rich, but you will be miserable. If you chase happiness as a direct goal, you will end up avoiding difficulty, seeking short-term pleasures, and likely neglecting your financial responsibilities. You will not get rich, and your happiness will be shallow and fragile. But if you chase excellence in the expression of who you truly are, you will work hard, yes, but it will not feel like work. You will face challenges, but they will feel like interesting problems rather than insults. You will earn money, but it will feel like a byproduct of value creation, not like blood money. And you will experience happiness, not the frantic, grasping kind, but the deep, quiet satisfaction of a day spent doing what you were born to do. Now let me address the subjection. What if who I truly am is lazy? What if my authentic self wants to watch Netflix and eat chips? I hear this question often. It's a good one. The answer is that your lazy chip-eating self is not your authentic self. It is your tired, overwhelmed, disconnected self. Your authentic self is the version of you that emerges when you are rested, safe, and engaged. Think of a time when you lost track of hours because you were so absorbed in something. Maybe it was gardening, or painting, or writing code, or playing with a child, or organizing a closet. That absorption, that flow state, that is a clue. Your authentic self is not defined by your lowest impulses. It is defined by your highest values, the things you care about so deeply that you forget to be self-conscious. You may not know what that is yet. That is fine. Discovering it is the work of a lifetime. But do not confuse exhaustion with authenticity. The couch is not your destiny. It is just a rest stop. So how do you begin? How do you shift from a life of chasing external rewards to a life of authentic expression? I have 3 suggestions, and they are simpler than you expect, though not easy. First, subtract before you add. Most advice about wealth and happiness tells you to acquire more. More skills, more habits, more side hustles, more discipline. But when you are living inauthentically, you are already carrying a heavy load of other people's expectations, shoulds, and obligations. Before you can hear your own voice, you have to turn down the volume on everyone else's. So make a list of everything you do that you secretly hate, the committee you serve on out of guilt, the friend you see out of obligation, the hobby you pretend to enjoy because it sounds impressive, the subscription you keep because you might need it one day, the news you consume that only makes you angry or afraid. Start subtracting. Every time you remove something that does not belong to you, you create space for something that does. Space is the soil in which self-expression grows. Second, start small and low stakes. Do not quit your job tomorrow to become a jazz pianist if you have never played piano. That is not courage. That is chaos. It's chaos. Instead, find the smallest possible way to express your true self today. If you are a maker, make something tiny, a single sketch, a paragraph, a repaired hinge. If you are a helper, help one person in a way that only you can. Write a specific, honest note of encouragement. If you are a thinker, share an idea not for applause, but because the idea wants to be born. Do this without any expectation, money, or recognition. Do it for the feeling of it. That feeling, the small ping of rightness, of aliveness, is your compass. Follow it. Over weeks and months, those small acts of self-expression will grow. They will become habits. They will become skills. They will become gifts you offer the world. And the world, which is starving for realness, will begin to respond. Third, redefine wealth. Been taught that wealth is a number, $1 million. Financial independence, a certain amount in your brokerage account, but that definition is designed to keep you wanting. Because no matter how much you have, someone else has more. So the goalpost never stops moving. Instead, define wealth as having complete ownership of your time, because time is the only non-renewable resource. You can always make more money. You can never make more time. So wealthy is not a person with $1 billion. Wealthy is a person who wakes up and decides how to spend every single hour of the day without asking anyone's permission. Wealthy is being able to say no to a project that would pay well, but would cost you your peace. Wealthy is being able to take a Tuesday afternoon to walk in the woods because the sun is out and you feel like it. That kind of wealth requires money, yes, but it requires far less than you think, especially if you have already subtracted the expensive obligations you never wanted in the first place. And it is completely achievable through authentic self-expression, because when you love what you do, you will become excellent at it, and excellence is always in demand. You may never be a billionaire, but you can absolutely own your time. And here's the most beautiful part. When you live this way, when you stop chasing and start expressing, something magical happens in your relationships. You stop envying others because you are too busy enjoying your own path. You stop resenting the rich because you no longer want what they had. You stop needing to impress anyone because your sense of worth comes from within. You become generous without effort because you have enough. You become patient because you are not in a rush to get somewhere else. You become someone that others want to be around, not because you are successful, but because you are real. And that realness, that presence, is the foundation of deep, lasting happiness. Let me be honest with you. This is not the easy path. The easy path is to follow the script. Go to school, get the job, buy the house, watch Netflix, complain about Monday, die. That path is well lit and crowded. It feels safe because everyone else is doing it, but it leads to a quiet despair that millions of people are medicating with alcohol, shopping, social media, and affairs. The other path, the path of authentic self-expression, is initially harder. It requires you to face your fears. It requires you to disappoint some people, especially those who have invested in the inauthentic version of you. It requires you to try things and fail, to look foolish, to start over. But here's the secret that no one tells you, that difficulty is not a bug. It is a feature. The difficulty is what makes the resulting wealth and happiness taste real. You cannot get self-respect from a paycheck. You earn it, drop by drop in the labor of becoming who you truly are. So if you want to be wealthy and happy, stop trying to be wealthy and happy. Instead, ask yourself one question and ask it every single morning. What is the most authentic thing I can do today? Not the most profitable, not the most impressive, the most true. Then do that thing. Do it badly if necessary. Do it scared. Do it without a guarantee. And then do it again tomorrow. Over time, the compound interest of those small, true actions will build a life that no recession can bankrupt and no misfortune can destroy. Because the wealth will be in your time and the happiness will be in your days. You want proof? Look at the happiest person you know, not the richest. The one who actually seems to enjoy being alive. I guarantee you that person is not following a script. They are not waiting for retirement. They are not trying to impress you. They are simply, stubbornly, joyfully being themselves. And they have discovered that when you align your work with your nature, money flows in surprising ways. Not because they chased it, but because they became a person worth paying attention to. That is the law. That's the truth. And it is available to every single person in this room, including you. So do not wait. Do not wait until you have saved enough, until the kids are grown, until the economy improves, until you lose the weight, until you have more confidence. Those are excuses. Your fear tells you so. It can keep you safe and small. The only time you have is now. And the only life you have is this one. Express it fully, loudly, and perfectly. The wealth and the happiness will follow, not as rewards, but as echoes. And you will look back and realize they were never the goal. The goal was always to become who you are. Everything else was just a side effect.